Canto 17. Summary. After Cacciaguida answers the pilgrim's question about what Florence was like in his day, a more personal question fills Dante's mind. Beatrice encourages him to ask, not because she and Cacciaguida do not already know what it is, but so that he might practice vocalizing his desires. Throughout the journey, the pilgrim has been variously taunted and cautioned concerning some major event that will happen in the pilgrim's near future. It must be remembered that the fictional date of this journey is spring of 1300. The pilgrim's question to his ancestor, then, is this: what is the event? The answer, simply put, is exile, which was pronounced against Dante the poet in January of 1302. But the Dante within the poem has not yet experienced that exile, and so is here fortified against it. Cacciaguida gives him a clear and concrete description of what it will be like: eating salted bread — Florentine bakers did not use salt — coming down and going back up the stairs of a house not his own, and traveling in the company of wicked and foolish men. But he also alludes to his benefactors, most notably the Chalier family of Verona. First mentioned is the father Bartolomeo, the Grand Lombard, and then the son Cangrande, one who was so imprinted by this star, to whom Paradiso was dedicated. The latter will perform many wonderful and magnificent deeds for the benefit of Italy. These are the glosses to what Dante has been told, a reference back to Inferno 15, line 89, where the pilgrim knows that the dark words of the damned will be explained when he ascends with Beatrice. With this clear understanding of what is going to happen to him, the pilgrim also asks for advice. Should he be careful in what he writes of this journey, so as not to offend potential hosts? Or should he speak the whole truth, as much as it might sting those currently living, in order to help future generations? Cacciaguida unambiguously advises Dante to speak the whole truth, come what may. In fact, the individuals who were sent to meet with the pilgrim were specifically chosen because they were famous, or infamous, as the case may be. No one pays attention to the moral lesson if the examples are based in obscurity. Only when things happen to people we have heard about, Cacciaguida argues, do we begin to pay attention. Canto 17. Mars. As he who still makes fathers shy toward sons, to ensure himself of what he had heard said against himself, came to Clymene. Such did I, and thus was I understood by both Beatrice and that holy lamp who had changed his place beforehand, for me. Therefore my lady said to me, "Give vent to the heat of your desire, that it may go forth well marked with that internal stamp, not because your words increase our knowledge, but so that you may accustom yourself to speak your thirst, that one might pour you a drink. O my precious seed, you are raised so high, as earthly minds see two obtuse angles cannot in one triangle be contained. In the same way you see things contingent before they are in themselves, by gazing on the point in whom all times are present. During the time I was joined by Virgil up along the mountain that cures the souls, and descending into the defunct world, grave words were told me of my future life, though, as it happens, I feel myself fixed squarely against the buffeting of chance. Therefore, my desire would be made content to know what fortune now draws near to me, for the arrow foreseen comes more slowly." This I said to that same light who before had spoken unto me, and as was willed by Beatrice, my desire was confessed. Not obscurely, as a deranged people once entangled themselves, before was slain the Lamb of God, who takes away our sin, but with clear words and with precise language that paternal love answered my question, concealed though still revealed in his own smile. The contingencies that do not extend outside of the volume of your matter are all painted in that eternal sight. Though necessity derives not from this, no more than does the boat floating downstream from the eyes in which it is reflected. And so, just as a sweet harmony comes from the organ to the ear, so the time that is furnished for you comes to my sight. As Hippolytus was torn from Athens by his cruel and treacherous stepmother, so too you must needs be torn from Florence. This is willed and is already being planned, and soon will be managed by one who schemes, there where every day Christ is bought and sold. The blame will follow the injured party, in fame as usual, but the vengeance will witness to the truth that metes it out. You will need to abandon everything most dearly beloved. This is the arrow the bow of your exile will first let fly. You will prove how the bread of another tastes of salt, and how it is a hard path, the down and up of another man's stair. And what will burden your shoulders the most will be the base and brainless company that will fall with you into this valley. For all ungrateful, impious, and mad will they be against you, but very soon their temples, not yours, will redden for it. Of their savagery their own progression will be the proof, such that it will be well to have made for yourself your own party. Your first refuge and your first hostelry will be courtesy of the grand Lombard, who bears on the ladder the holy bird. For he will have such kind regard for you in doing and asking. That will be first with you two, which is slower with others. With him you will see the one who at birth was so imprinted by this mighty star, his endeavors will be most noteworthy. As yet people are not aware of him, because of his tender age, for only 9 years have these heavens turned around him. Before the Gascon cheats noble Henry, a glimmer of his virtue will appear, being unconcerned with silver and troubles. His magnificences will yet be known, such that his enemies concerning him will not be able to keep silent tongues. Look you to him, and to his benefits. By him will many people be altered, both rich and poor, changing their condition. You will not speak of these things, but bear them, inscribed on the mind. Things incredible, he said, even to those who will be there. Then he added, Son, these are the glosses to what has been told you. Behold the traps that are hidden behind a few turnings. I would not, however, have you envy your neighbors, since your life will be prolonged past the punishment of their perfidies. After the holy soul, growing silent, showed that he had finished setting the woof in the warped texture I had given him, I began, as one who, full of questions, is craving counsel from the one person who sees and desires uprightly and loves. I see, my father, how time spurs toward me to give me such blows as are heaviest on those who abandon themselves the most. It is good I arm myself with foresight, lest I lose others because of my verse, if the dearest place is taken from me. Down through the world of endless bitterness, up the mount where, on the beautiful peak, the eyes of my lady lifted me up, and then through the heavens from light to light, I have learned things which, if I repeat them, will give a strong, sour flavor to many. But if I am a timid friend to truth, I am afraid to lose an existence among those who will call this time ancient. That light in which my treasure was smiling, which I found there, first made itself sparkle like a sunbeam in a mirror of gold, then answered, A conscience that is darkened either by its own or another's shame certainly will feel the sting of your words, but nevertheless remove all falsehood, make manifest the whole of your vision, and just leave them to scratch where it itches. For if your voice, when it is first tasted, is troublesome, afterwards it will leave vital nourishment when it is absorbed. There are other goods that make none happy. They are neither happiness nor the good essence of every good, the fruit and root. This public cry of yours will be like wind that buffets most the highest peaks, and this makes no little argument for honor. Therefore only the souls that are famous have been revealed to you on the mountain and in the valley of anguish below. For the soul of him who hears does not rest, nor fixes confidence through examples, the roots of which are unknown or concealed, nor by other demonstrations unseen.